What's up, everybody? What's up, Facebook? How y'all doing this morning? As y'all can possibly tell, I'm off this week. I ain't working, so I got time to do shit like this. It's like a hobby of mine. When I see shit, I like to share it. You know what I'm saying? I can't just keep it to myself. And I'm by myself most of the time, so I use this to get it out. So, what I want to talk about this morning is the propaganda that's out there about jab. You know, the jab in the arm that's real popular and all over the news these days. You know, they lining up. You got the vaxxers against the anti-vaxxers. You know what I mean? That'll probably be the last time I use that particular language. So you're going to have to walk with me because I'm going to be kind of speaking in code just because I'm already going to play a news clip. Might get in trouble for that. But I know they censoring this kind of talk. Okay. I don't know if y'all heard about it or not, but Nikki Minaj, she put out a tweet. And on the tweet, she was saying that the Met Gala, this big fashion waste of time that they have in New York every year, you know, they requiring everybody that attends to be vaccinated. So she put out a tweet. She was like, yeah, when I do get vaccinated, no, she said, if I get vaccinated, it won't be to go to the Met. I'm thinking about it now, and after I've done all my research, then I'll make my decision. But until then, you know, keep your mask on or whatever. And so I look at this, you know, the Young Turks, right? I don't know if y'all too many people familiar with the Young Turks, but it's like this online news channel, and it's supposed to be for progressive people. You know what I mean? Lukewarm, Black Lives Matter. You know, they'll call out certain things about the police, and they'll be against Donald Trump. But don't let that fool you. That's like the controlled opposition. When it come down to white supremacy, they all on the same team. So you got your Fox News types. They get out there and tell all their lies to prop up the right wing, you know what I mean, the right side of white supremacy. And then you got CNN, you got MSNBC, and you got these online platforms like the Young Turks that prop up the left side of white supremacy. And you know what I mean, they meet in the middle on certain things. And this is one of them things. Like if you're on the left side of white supremacy, you gotta be pro-abortion, you gotta be pro-vaccine, you gotta be anti-Trump, and you gotta be pro-LGBT. Okay, on any one of those stations, MSNBC, CNN, or the Young Turks, they never speak negatively about those groups. You know, it's a big group think thing. If you don't agree with every point of a Democrat, you get ostracized. You know what I mean? If you don't agree with every point of a Republican, you get ostracized. And I'm talking about white people right now. Really, we fucking idiots for even believing in any of that shit as far as these two parties. But let's just lay it out. And like Fox News, they the same way. Okay? If you're on the right side, you got to be pro-gun, you got to be anti-abortion, you got to hate Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, etc., etc. But in both wings, black people have zero representation in government, in national government. Absolutely zero. All that we got in national politics, we got heartless white people, and we got self-serving black people. So I'm gonna play this little clip, and we're gonna talk about it. The title of it is Nicki Minaj's wild anti-vax tweet goes viral. And Reid, the black lady that's on MSNBC, the black looking lady, but she is 100% team white supremacy. She uses her melanin and the fact that she's a woman to influence our people. But you got to see through it. She's not going go outside the lines. And she Nigerian, you know what I mean? Which ain't nothing wrong with that. But our brothers and sisters from the motherland today once they get to America, they don't really see shit the same way a person that has lived in America, a black person that's lived in America all his life and descended from them goddamn cotton fields and sugar cane, you know what I mean, or the old South, you know, that come from slavery. Their attitude toward white people is different from ours. If they can advance, they'll fuck with it a little quicker than we will. But let me get on with it.
Rapping Nicki Minaj is facing a bunch of criticism about her tweets. First, it talks about the side effects of COVID. After, she talks about how much she's going to be doing more research.
Now, this guy talking, he's another Joy Reid type. I think his name is J.R. Jackson, black dude with dreads and all that. You know, you see him walking down the street. You know, he can blend right in. But he's a contributor for the Young Turks, and I doubt if this guy is ever around black people at all. You know, just by listening to his voice and listening to him talk, you can barely tell him from the white people, which ain't nothing wrong with speaking proper English, but you know what the fuck I'm saying.
On the potential side effects of the vaccine itself. So here's some of those tweets. She says, they want you to get vaccinated for the Met. For those who don't know, that's this big gala in New York that just happened. Was that yesterday? For the Met. If I get vaccinated, it won't be for the Met. It'll be once I feel I've done enough research. Hey, so far this sounds completely reasonable to me. It makes sense. I'm working on that now.
See how he's talking about, so far, this sounds completely reasonable. And I want y'all to listen and tell me what's anti-vax about what she said, or tell me what's unreasonable about what she said.
Oh, great. In the meantime, my loves, be safe. I still agree. Wear the mask with 2 strings that grips your head and face, not that loose one.
Okay.
Prayers up, big hearts. Hey, Nikki, I love it, man. This is a responsible thing. People who are still have some issues about the vaccine, I'm actually okay with that too, as long as you go ahead and look into your concerns.
This guy's just a total cornball, man.
And try to figure out what you want to do before you maybe do something responsible. As she says, be safe, wear the masks. Excellent. That was at 2:21 p.m. on September 13th. At 2:44 p.m., same day, Nikki is back. My cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make...
All right. Even that part. Do you see anything unreasonable about a member of your family getting vaccinated and telling you that they had some side effects? Now you can go on YouTube and just type it in, and you see people from all over, from all walks of life, talking about side effects they've had from the jab, right? They even admitted that the jab will give some people side effects. I saw this one story where this guy, he was a D1 athlete. They didn't say what sport, they just said a D1 athlete. And he went and, you know, to play college sports now, it's mandatory. They have to get it, right? So he said he went and got it, and within a week, he developed a heart condition to where he can't play football no more, all kinds of shit like that. So this guy is acting like it's just off the wall for somebody to talk about a side effect. Is talking about a side effect considered anti-jab, in your opinion?
Sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. So we go from do your research, I'm not going to the Met if I have to be vaccinated first, stay safe, wear the mask, 2 straps, do it all, don't put that loose one on, be safe, my friends. So my cousin just, I guess the research went like,
see, that's their job. Their job is to mock and shout down and drown out anybody who's trying to use critical thinking and not just believe in everything that they see on TV. From one little rat-looking ass man. Y'all know that man I'm talking about. One rat-looking ass man, and you can literally go back and take the back last summer when they was doing the briefings every day. You know what I mean? He would speak about it every day. You can go back and look at clips from that and get clips as time goes on and make it where he actually arguing with himself. He'll say one thing and then come back and say something else. Say one thing, come back and say something else. And that's their job, to mock, shout down, and bully anybody that's trying to be a critical thinker and make this decision a personal decision. And it's crazy because the Democrats, one of the their main pillars of their ideology is right to choose. You know what I mean? When talking about abortions, that's the argument that's they push back against. the right side saying that abortion is murder, and the right side says that abortion is murder, and they frame it like it's a moral thing, like it's biblical or religious, you know, about it's being wrong to kill a baby, which they do have a point there. But that's a bad faith argument, because the upper echelon white supremacists that control the right wing, see, abortion was never meant for white women. Abortion was created to kill all babies, not white babies. But as it turns out now, even though the media don't frame it like that, as it turns out now, it's the birth rates. Non-white people are becoming the majority, and their attempt to slow down that is to try to ban abortion altogether. But what they're trying to do is stop the white women from getting abortion. They very hypocritical. So when you use that same argument when somebody is trying to force you to get the jab, hey, this is my right to choose, and that's the way they'll show their hypocrisy, because they'll shout that down too.
23 minutes, long enough for her to get a call from her cousin in Trinidad. It was like, the balls then got too big, and now the wedding's been called off. If you don't want this to happen to you, this is a cautionary tale.
You also can go online and find men who have gotten the jab and said that after that they was impotent. He's mocking the part where he said that his balls were swollen. He is not going to touch the impotency part, because he knows that you can look that up. It's all a game.
Before you go, because you might steal my one point that I really want to make. So I'm going to steal it back from you. How many women just call off weddings when your fiancé has a medical issue with his testicles that have been enlarged? This is a brutal, brutal woman. Jesus.
I mean, we are talking Trinidad here, and I have to say, I know that I trust my cousin's friend.
Okay. Here is the white supremacist on the panel. Straight out the gate, he showed his true color. He's mocking the medical system in Trinidad because, it's not the big bad United States where all the smartest doctors are and all that. He gonna try to mock Trinidad. If it is lacking in medical in Trinidad, it's because of white supremacy. Mock yourself.
Trinidad over any scientific research in the United States. By the way, you know what's also difficult in terms of your wedding night, in terms of following through on the act that you're also expected to do? When you're on a ventilator, when you're intubated, it's not the easiest thing to sort of get some blood flow down, what we're talking about. And by the way, if you want to talk about, having some issues, there are medical studies, research, maybe they can look this up in Trinidad, that ivermectin, that horse a lot of people have taken, that actually does change modalities of sperm count. So they actually have...
And that ain't got a goddamn thing to do with what the fuck we talking about.
Scientifically, that if you're taking ivermectin, you will have some problems reproducing. I'm just saying. So, but maybe Nikki has a question or she wondered about her cousin in Trinidad and will be good.
Well, this is not in there. You're not the only one who saw this curiously, or even potentially supported. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who said, that's right. It enlarged ball sacks. We can't have this happen. So
I can't listen to that motherfucker no more right now. I'm gonna get to the Joy Reid part, because Joy Reid attacked Nicki Minaj for that tweet. That's the part I want to get to and show you why I called her a mammy.
I gotta find out. Anyway, so we have one side. Indisputable is not a one-sided show. We got Tucker Carlson's take. Let's listen to what Joy Reid from MSNBC had to say about Nicki Minaj.
And people like Nicki Minaj, I have to say this. You have a platform, sister, that is 22 million followers.
Okay. This is NBC's version of a black woman. Have you ever heard a black woman say sister like that? Fucking cornball. I'm gonna rewind that back a little bit. Listen when she say sister.
2 million followers. You have 22 million followers on Twitter.
Consider that, the Trumpsters sort of grew out of the original teabaggers. And teabagging can be a little more complicated depending on how things go. So I'm just saying.
I mean, if it's enlarged, then it's definitely going to be a problem. But still.
It's way bigger than mine.
So I just love that Tucker Carlson's response to that whole thing seems reasonable.
Okay, here we go.
He must have said more. I gotta find out. Anyway, so we have one side. Indisputable is not a one-sided show. We got Tucker Carlson's take. Let's listen to what Joy Reid from MSNBC had to say about Nicki Minaj.
And people like Nicki Minaj, I have to say this. You have a platform, sister, that is 22 million followers. Okay, I have 2 million followers. You have 22 million followers on Twitter.
Sound like you hating me.
For you to use your platform to encourage our community to not protect themselves and save their lives, my God, sister, you could do better than that. You got that platform.
I mean, she just flat out lied on that woman. Flat out lied. She said that she put out information to keep her people from being safe. Her people. Who are your people? Who you talking? No, sometimes you the other person filed for divorce.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing that you got that. That people listen to you. And they listen to you more than listen to me. For you to use your platform to put people in the position of, it's a blessing. It's a blessing that you got that. That people listen to you. And followers. Okay, I have 2 million followers. You have 22 million followers on Twitter. For you to use your platform to encourage our community to not protect themselves and save their lives, my God, sister, you could do better than that. You got that platform. It's a blessing. It's a blessing that you got that. That people listen to you. And they listen to you more than listen to me. For you to use your platform.
Boy, things that we do for butter biscuits.
To put people in the position of dying from a disease they don't have to die from. Oh my God, as a fan, as a hip hop fan, as somebody who's your fan, I'm so sad that you did that. So sad that you did that, sister.
She's not very happy with this response, with at least Nicki Minaj's tweets, because she feels it's affecting her fans. Which this also crossed with Brian Kilmeade said a couple days ago, because he said, well, how come Joe Biden with his vaccine mandates, how come he doesn't tell African Americans to get the vaccine because the numbers there are lagging?
Who the fuck you think Joe Biden talking to when he talk that shit about he losing patience and all this bullshit? He talking to black people, JR, and you know that, things that we would do for the butter business. I saw another story yesterday where they got the little they trace Joe Biden's ancestry, and guess what? I think it was great grandfathers. Don't quote me on that, but in his past lineage, 2 of his ancestors were slave holders. That's why you got to cut the check, Joe. Joe, you owe personally. But look, this shit is getting a little long, right? So I'm about to get ready to wrap it up. But I just want to play one more little part if I can find it. Let me see. Okay. I'm pretty sure if you watch any kind of news at all, you know who Tucker Carlson is. One of the dumbest, most racist motherfuckers ever on TV, right? And it seems like this is a funny issue, because this is the one issue where the hardcore Trumpers, the hardcore rednecks, the Fox News crowd is basically on the same side as the black people. Now I ain't talking about you black people that drink with your pinky sticking out like this. I'm talking about the grassroots. You know what I mean? Working people like me, just regular people. We on the same side with the Trumpers on this, and I'm about to play what Tucker Carlson said in response to Nicki Minaj's tweet, and I'm gonna end right there, and you tell me who was the most logical talking person on this clip.
Team Nikki, let's see what you have to say.
She said that her cousin in Trinidad, quote, won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now that girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. Which seems sensible.
Well, I mean,
that bitch laughed like it was something wrong with that. But that's all I got for right now. Until next time, mahalo.